There's only one thing left to say. Let's rev it up!
Alright guys, welcome back. Okay, so I want to talk about something because this might hinder some of you and many of you when you play the deck. Okay, so right away, when you pick up the deck, and whether you really enjoy it or you're just playing it because you whatever the reason what may be, whatever the reason you might have picked this strategy, which is aggro, combo oriented. If you pick the strategy, you have to understand and come to terms with the weaknesses. And if you haven't done that now, if you've been playing this for some time, then I'm not sure what to tell you. Because you have to take the weaknesses and the strengths for what they are. Like, hands down, if you go first, you're gonna win. Like, that's just pretty much, unless the sequence is messed up along the way, or if you brick. So bricking, it's completely just left out of the question because it doesn't happen as often, and when it does, that's just unfortunate. But when I've been playing on DevPro for for a few hours, and I think I'm like top 100 now, and every time that I've gone first, I haven't lost. It doesn't matter what deck it was. All I know is that if I won the RPS, then I won. That's how crazy it is. Like, what other deck can go first and do what the deck does and guarantee pretty much a win? Like, there's no other deck that right now, unless you're playing because, like, okay, what I mean by that is, a bit, I can see where you can kind of see the flaw in what I'm trying to say. But, like, okay, let's say you're playing Zoo versus Zoo, right? It's not a guaranteed win if one of the Zoo players opens up their best board. It's not a guaranteed win because Zoo, they play traps. They can counter each other. But they don't have the amount of flexibility and accessibility of wanting to go into certain synchros of doing a particular thing, drawing into other resources and then passing. Like, they have the sheep combo where they can draw like 3 and stuff, and hopefully within those 3 they manage to cover traps, twin twister, and an ogre or a max C. They have 3 chances to cover all that. If they can't cover all that, then they're either susceptible to back row if they don't open up the twin twister. If they're susceptible to just like your opponent overwhelming them if they don't open up traps, and if they don't open up the hand traps, then it's similar situations to not opening up traps. So that's what I mean. They can't guarantee a win. Whereas this deck, like literally this deck, Dark Synchron, if you go first, and excluding the fact that you will brick, you just can't lose. It's hard to. It's really hard to. They need to have a very specific hand for it to work. Of course, Zoo can do it much like a bit more consistently because they main the Kaiju engine. But any other deck, they struggle like so much. Like, okay, so you're gonna end with 2 monsters that negate anything, 1 monster that negates effects, and then a Triss set up on their turn, along with 2 to 3 twin twisters. So that covers everything. They would need to have Kaiju, Raigeki, Dark Hole, and even then, the only deck that can kind of pull out of that is Zoo, which means they would have to open up Terror Top or a Barrage now, because they can't do them. Like, I guess they can normal summon the rat and then get rid of your stuff that way, but that's the only scenario that you can find yourself in trouble with, and that's insane. Like, that's overlooked. Like, of course you know that when you go second, but that's why you fix the, like, if you lose game 1 because you went second, game 2 you're guaranteed to win, man. Like, you're just guaranteed to just win unless they open up their like hand traps. But then you have to understand, like, that's part of the game. They have cards stop you. That exists. And if you like, and then when you go in second again, when you go first, when you go second, you side accordingly. You side properly to where you can have a better chance, and that's all you can do. Just increase your chances of making your game going second game better. But I know a lot of you get discouraged. You'll either play it, like there's days where you might just not, it just not be your day. Like you just might open up like go fuse and quick draws, and there's nothing you can do about it. But like this is a perfect example of what I mean. Like just figuring out a play and figuring out how to like, that's crazy. Like bringing out 2 knights so he wouldn't strike one of them, because I for sure I need level eater, and for sure I need to bait it out with with jet. So like little things like that make a big difference and go a long way, and it's just insane. Like it's just a little thought, a little bit of effort, and you can manage to pull it off without just completely. And let me put the deck list. All right, so here's the deck list. Nothing's changed. It's just everything's the same. But I just want to show you guys that like when you go second, they're not always gonna open up the best. Like they're not. Like of course, it's possible. Statistically, they're meant to, but don't be defeated right away, because like this is how it's part of the game. They won't open up the best. You won't open up the best sometimes, rarely, because the way I've built it, it's meant to not brick as much. So if it does happen, it's unfortunate. That's part of the game. It happens, and you have to come to terms with that. It's hard. It's hard. It's easier said than done. I know. I understand that. It's much easier said than done. But that's how I've come to understand, and that's why I enjoy playing the deck, because I completely accept it for everything it is, and how it's built, the strategy. Just I've accepted it to what it is. Like of course you're gonna have players that don't like that you play this deck, but you have to understand like there's more, like just because statistically they're meant to win because odds are in their favor. They have the best cards, strikes, dimension barrier. Like they have all the best cards, and why would they get angry that you are playing a lower tier deck and beating them? That means they have this entitlement of, oh, I was meant to win. I was meant, like, well, yeah, the odds are with you, but that doesn't mean you're meant to win. So that's what gives me the excitement that, oh, I could beat them, like you could win. That's exciting. But anyways, that's gonna be it. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. Thanks for watching.